The sinking of the unsinkable ship, Titanic, is one of the most famous events of the past 100 or so years. Titanic's story begins in Belfast, Northern Ireland, at the Harnell Mill shipyard, with its iconic cranes now a landmark on the Belfast skyline. White Star Line commissioned the Belfast Company for the ship's construction, and work began in 1909, with the project taking just over 3 years for the build and fitting of interior furnishings. Sea trials began in 1911, where the ship would venture out without the legendary 4 funnels. We know, of course, only 3 of these funnels would ever work, but the ship could operate without any. The Titanic was truly a huge ocean liner. It's smaller than a modern cruise liner, but way bigger than the biggest passenger aircraft in the world, the Airbus A380, and the same size as 3 football pitches. Captain Edward John Smith was White Star Line's senior captain, and the Titanic's maiden voyage was due to be his last before retirement. Titanic set sail from Southampton on the 10th of April 1912, with many turning out to wave her off from a busy quayside. Her journey took her from Southampton to Cherbourg in France, where she picked up 247 more passengers, mainly third class. Titanic was too big for the berth at Cherbourg, so passengers had to be transported by mailboat. She then picked up more passengers at Queenstown, Ireland, on the 11th of April before heading out to the destination she would never reach, New York. An iceberg was spotted at 23:30 on April 14th, but they were too late to turn, even with the rudder at full swing. The collision could not be avoided. The Titanic struck the iceberg 10 minutes later, causing fatal damage to the unsinkable ship. By midnight, the first distress messages were sent out, and passengers were guided to the lifeboats around midnight. One of the reasons for the high death toll was there were simply not enough lifeboats. Another reason was they did not fill the lifeboats to the full capacity. This led to there being only just over 700 survivors. Survivors were picked up by the Carpathia around 4 a.m, but Titanic had already sank below the surface, costing 1,523 passengers and crew their lives. One of the most famous stories of the sinking of the Titanic is that the band played on as it sank, but it must have been a terrifying experience for those involved.